Hey everyone, Randy Pennington here with a question. Isn't it time for us to move beyond change as something to manage and disruption as something to be feared? Don't get me wrong. Managing the changes that come at you and responding quickly to potential disruptions are still important. My book, May Change Work, is just as relevant today as it was when I wrote it just a few years back. Leaders and organizations still struggle to succeed at leading change, and many organizations find themselves disrupted because they became complacent. But even then, there was a subtitle in the book about staying nimble. You see, I believe we're limiting ourselves by looking at change exclusively through this lens of adapt or die. It's time to think about and approach change and transformation as a good thing. In fact, it can be a strategic advantage. A few months back, I wrote about the 4 levels of dealing with change that we should be considering today. Level 1 is the level to which my wife was referring when she told me, Randy, I'll never ask you to change, but I do expect that you'll continually adapt. This is basically the message of who moved my cheese and your iceberg is melting. And again, it's still important, but it's time we expand our view. Level 2 is anticipation. This is looking ahead to be ready for what might be coming next. That's better, but it still might not be enough. For instance, anticipating what might happen with the economy or regulatory change is a good thing. You want to be ready if something happens. The challenge is you can anticipate but still miss the market. For instance, Blockbuster anticipated that video rentals would move to DVD by mail and eventually to streaming. Now, everyone thinks that they just didn't adapt, but they had people working on those things. One former Blockbuster leader told me this when I asked him about missing this change. He said, "We knew it was coming." In other words, they anticipated it, but we just thought we had more time. That's why great companies today are looking at a level 3 response, and that's pursuing change. Pursuing change means that you search out what's next rather than simply anticipate it. Years ago, there was a television show called Wagon Train. It was about a wagon train crossing the prairie to the west. It sounds exciting, doesn't it? Well, the wagon train had a group of employees called the Scouts, and their job was to ride out over the horizon each day to find the answers to 2 questions. Where's the water, and where are the hostiles? Now, notice they didn't ride out to the horizon and stop, because you can see change that's on your side of the horizon. They ventured out beyond where you could readily see what's coming. And then based on their report, the wagon train could change direction before there was danger or to capture an opportunity. I mentioned there were 4 levels of response to change, and we've covered 3 of them. But the 4th level is level 0, and that's ignore. You see, it's easy to follow the latest BSO. That's bright, shiny object. I've done this on more than one occasion. Sometimes it was by accident, but most of the time, I just made a bad choice. Now, the reason doesn't really matter. The end result was that I and my business became distracted by either running to or running away from something that was a waste of my time. Times of great technological innovation, like the one that we're in right now, create transition to new drivers in the economy. We saw that happen as we moved from the agriculture economy to the industrial revolution. It happened again as we moved from manufacturing to primarily a service economy. And we're seeing it now with the transition to a digital and subscription economy. Those transitions open the door for entrepreneurs to flourish, and that's exciting. But it also creates the opportunity to pursue bright, shiny objects with a low potential for return. Knowing if you've struck gold or found fool's gold can be difficult. You're going to get it wrong, but you can maximize your opportunities for success if you're clear on your purpose, values, and the customers you serve. You'll also need to be more effective and efficient at using data to model potentials and then make better choices. There's a degree of anticipation required. So it's good to know the difference between, as my colleague Dan Burris says, hard trends and fads. But even then, you're going to make mistakes. And when that happens, you have to go back to level one, adapt, even in the face of failure. And you have to do that quicker. It's still important to be change ready, but the organizations that will flourish in the future will stay nimble to remain relevant. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring that little bell to be notified every time new content is added. Also, please give us a like, add a comment, or share this post with your friends and colleagues. I'll see you next time.